I need you. You need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will that every need be supplied. So whatever we stand in need of, God got it in His time. My husband only knew about it, but I told my mom after because I know when me and my mama get together, Lord, we'll cry together. Let me tell you. So I turned 40 last year, and you start your mammogram after 40. Unless you need it, and in case of a family history, you'll probably get it earlier. But anyway, a part of me was putting it off, and a part of me wasn't, because I was like, the stories I hear and the machine and how it works. I'm like, I don't want to feel that. But anyway, my husband, it was in November because I turned 40 in June. So my husband, he was like one day in November, I hadn't been saying anything. He knew, that's what comes when 40 comes or whatever. That's what my doctor said at my annual physical or whatever in June. So November, here it is November, and I still hadn't had a mammogram. And my husband, he just laying on the bed. We were looking at TV. I was doing something. I was going to the bathroom, and I was coming out the bathroom. He said, "Have you had your mammogram yet?" I said, "Oh, shh." In my mind, I'm like, "Shut up." No. I hadn't had my mammogram yet. I had lost over 27 pounds in the last 6 months. And not really doing anything special, but I realized the number when I went to the doctor. She said, in the last 6 months, since the last 6 months you seen me, you lost 27 pounds. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. And everybody tells you before you see it yourself, but you can feel it in your clothes or whatever. But anyway, he asked me if I had my mammogram, and I said, no. He was like, don't you think you need to go ahead and schedule that? I'm like, who are you and what my husband is? That don't be worried about stuff like that. I have to be worried about stuff. But anyway, my husband on a different level. So I said, no, I'll schedule it. I was going somewhere. And I said, I'll schedule it. I'll schedule it later on. I was taking his mom to her appointment, my mother-in-law. Taking her to her appointment. And I said, I'll schedule it. Let me get this out of the way, and then I'll schedule it. So I got that out the way, got my mom done. And when y'all hear me say my mom, that's who I'm talking about, my mother-in-law. Got back to the house. I sat down in the living room before it was time for me to go pick up the girls from school. My husband come out the room. He was like, you scheduled it yet? I was like, I'm finna call right now. Let me call right now. So I called, scheduled it, got it scheduled at the end of November. They told me all the instructions, no perfumes, deodorants, no lotions and stuff like that. I'm like, okay. Went in, got it done. I was like, I was psyching myself out so bad. My husband went with me because I was so nervous, but he couldn't go in the back with me. And I cried again. I started crying. I was in the mirror changing my clothes. I'm like, okay. I need to breathe. I need to collect myself. And when I got in there and the nurse was awesome. She talked me through everything. She knew it was my first time going through to have my mammogram. And so, I was like, oh, that ain't nothing. I went back out, my husband with me. I was like, okay, cool. And told mom I had my first mammogram. It was nothing like I expected it to be because of the, how that we talk about that fear and how our mind can become a battlefield. So that was it. And I had so that was a Friday. I had my results maybe Monday, Tuesday. I didn't understand none of that because I had my chart. And it's like a chart that gives you all your results from your blood work, medications, if you got any prescriptions, whatever. You can refill your... Anyway, I read, I'm like, what is this? Findings and this and that and the third. And I'm like, okay. So my primary care physician called me. And she said, They found something that looks suspicious, and they want to check it just to be sure it ain't nothing. I told my husband I was crying because I'm like, my first mammogram, and I gotta go back, There I am again, psyching myself out. Fear is definitely playing a part. And I'm just like, oh my God. I didn't feel like nothing was wrong, but they just wanted me to go back and check or what have you. So I had to go back and get another mammogram. So I went back in December to get another mammogram. This time, because I had experienced it the first time, I told my husband, I said, you know what, baby? You don't have to go. I'm good. I was scared, but I was more so okay. Like I said, my husband made sure he didn't have to take off work to go with me. I said, you know what? Since I've experienced it, I'm good. And you can't go back there in the back with me anyway. So I'll just, give you the play-by-play as I am there. So I went back, had the second mammogram. This time, when I got in there, they squeezed a little tighter. I was just like, woo! But I had to hold my breath, and I was just, I got it in there. They wanted to get it real good so they could see. I had to stay a little longer this time for the results. I got results the same day this time. So when the nurse brought me back to go over my results, one of my lymph nodes under my arm, it was just bigger than usual, and they found a mass on my right breast. And the nurse, she made it to where I could feel it. And I was like, I do feel it. I didn't feel it because I do my self-exams in the shower or whatever. I ain't feel that. So I'm like, Lord, okay, what's going on? So I had to go into an office after they gave me the results because they wanted to do a biopsy. Yeah. They wanted to do a biopsy and check under my arm for that lymph node that was a little bigger than usual. So I'm like, okay. Let me tell you, when I left the hospital, it was around Christmas time, y'all. So I'm glad I got this done. It was around Christmas, before Christmas. So when I got in the car that day, when I found out I had to get a biopsy, I had to schedule a third appointment for the biopsy. I got in the car, and I kid you not, I turned on the car, put my seatbelt on, and This Is Christmas by Luther Vandross came on. And the first words of that song were, don't be discouraged, don't be dismayed. I kid you not. There was this, I can't even explain the feeling that came over me. There was a calmness. I started crying, of course, because I'm like, I'm getting in the car. And the song is just coming on at that time. And the first words are, don't be discouraged, don't be dismayed. I don't know if you know this song, but it's This Is Christmas by Luther Vandross. And there, as I was crying, I couldn't even pull out of the parking lot good. So I pulled over to the side and let any other cars that were coming, I wouldn't be in the way. But there was this calmness that came over me, knowing I had to go for this next appointment again. I'm like, okay, Lord, what's going on? But after that song, after I heard the words, I don't even know the rest of the song. But the first words were, don't be discouraged, don't be dismayed. And the calmness that came over me, right then and there, I text my husband, I said, I'm on my way home. I'll share everything with you when I get there. When you get home from work, because he was at work. So I couldn't explain it, but I'm just like, it was like the calmness made me feel like, oh, ain't nothing wrong. I'm fine. I don't feel like something is wrong. But I have lost a lot of weight. So what's going on? So I'm not trying to psych myself up, but that calmness, I was just like, I was able to sleep. I didn't worry. This was literally the first time in my life when it comes to me that I wasn't afraid. I wasn't scared. So the biopsy was scheduled for hours. They were like, you want to schedule it this week Wednesday, because my retake was Monday. We can schedule it Wednesday, or we can schedule it after Christmas. I said, nope, let's get it over with. Let's go ahead and get this over with, because I'm ready for it to be done. And so I went back in, and they told me to eat, drink a smoothie or something prior to, because it helps with your nerves. I was still nervous, but that morning, on my way I stopped and got me a smoothie, and I prayed. And I was just like, God is in your hands. I will not fear. Whatever concerning me, you got it. It's already done. And I was good. First time I ever been to an appointment where I wasn't scared. Like, it was something like to this extreme that I had to do by myself. My girls, my Jada, my oldest, she was, texting me, you okay? Just checking in. And I chose not to tell my mom until after I got the results, because I know how me and my mom are. When we get, it's too many emotions all over the place. And I was like, I can barely handle my own. And so I was getting through it. And biopsy came back. We have dense tissue in our breast. So it was just a pocket of fluid. And they didn't find anything, abnormal about the how my lymph node looked. So I just thank God. So I had that done Wednesday. And I think my mom, before she went to work, because my husband, he took the girls on a cruise, and I didn't go because I thank God for land. Because the way my vertigo is set up, the way my motion sickness is set up, I can't do it. I was like, it'd be a waste of money for me to be cooped up in a room. So they went on a cruise. And I met mom that week. After I was able to tell my husband, he was able to go on his cruise feeling fine. I was good. I'm glad I got it done before they left. I told my mom in the parking lot of Kroger. We at Kroger. And I'm so grateful to God that I was able to give her great news that it was nothing. They just wanted to make sure that it was nothing. And so I'm like, okay, I'm glad I was able to tell her after, because I'm just like, ooh. God is good. That is something that I've been going through here lately, and I haven't been feeling like I want to do this or I want to do that. But I said, I got to check in with y'all, because you all dedicate some time to look at my page or what have you. If you don't have your notifications on, turn your notification on. It'll just notify you when you have the choice to be notified if I make a reel, if I go live, or if I make a post. You pick which one. If you like all them notifications come to your phone like that, you have your way, because I can't take it. Because I have several different platforms that I'm on that are well over 100K. So it's a lot. So I had to turn them off. Again, a part of protecting my peace. So I thank you for being here with me, listening to this, and me finally, getting up the courage to share a part of that testimony with you. So I'm grateful. So ladies, don't be afraid. When it's time, go get checked. My first experience when I made that video about it back, from the first exam, it was all hunky dory. And then I saw findings and all of this. I didn't know all of the medical terminology that they use. So my primary care physician was able to explain everything to me. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that even in my fear, my faith outweighed the fear. I went through that and I got through that.